Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here with us today to celebrate Sergeant Banner's service as we send him into retirement. And special thanks to our senior leadership in attendance today. So thank you, General Bohack, General Callahan, Colonel Mile, and Chief Horn. Thank you for your leadership and support today. Gary, it's been a tremendous privilege and honor to preside over your ceremony and to be here with your family and friends. Wingman, it's truly special. Manny, thank you for your support over the years. Congratulations on this achievement. We appreciate you loaning out Gary to us a few weekends here and there. I'm sure you'll cherish those weekends just a little bit more from now on, or maybe not based on that look. So, I mean, call us yours. If you want us to proceed with this, we can. If not, all right, we'll take it back. Sounds good. Dave and Kay, thank you so much. We're glad you can make it. I can't wait to speak with you and see what you thought about Gary joining the Air National Guard at the age of 34. I'm sure that was an interesting conversation we had, so look forward to that later. We celebrate Gary's career today as it comes full circle. He joined the Nebraska Air National Guard in 2001, went to basic, and as I said before, he was 34 years old, so when he got to basic, he was kind of the grandpa of the flight. But with that age came maturity, and with that maturity, he led by example. Doing so, he was an honor graduate for his flight. Shortly after he returned from basic, like I said, it's 2001, so September 11th hit, and then shortly after that, you graduated from UNK, and then you were volunteered for the ANG Crisis Action Team at Andrews, so busy year for you. Way to start your career. After promoting to Tech Sergeant in September 2007, he transferred to the 123rd Airlift Wing, Kentucky, where he was deployed to Ramstein, Baghdad, and upon his return, he transferred to his native California. Gary continued to serve in the 163rd TAC Wing at March Air Reserve Base, February 2010, where he served as the NCOIC of Career Development for the 4th Support Squadron, as well as the Additional Duty First Sergeant. As you guessed, Gary was activated on multiple occasions in responses to wildfires throughout the state of California. He would then promote to Master Sergeant in April 2016. While Gary is native to California, Nebraska is where he truly felt at home. He came back to us in 2018, and he was assigned to us here at JFHQ, where he played a crucial role as A1 NCOIC, as well as the unit training manager. Gary, I'd like to thank you for your continued optimism and professional behavior. What impressed me most about you is that you never once accomplished a task or inquired about any opportunities just to be promoted. Every time I saw you, you were working to better your airmen and to better our team. And I can think of no greater example of the one that you set for us during your time here. Looking out for others before yourself, that's what a true airman and a true wingman does. I would take a full team of Sergeant Banners any day, but today is not about recruiting or adding more Gary Banners. It's about celebrating your career and sending you off into retirement. And I thank you for your service. I wish you all the best of luck. I imagine you have a few words to say. I'm going to keep mine short and sweet. So, Sergeant Banner, if you'll join me up front, and Chief Gilmore, let's make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the formal portion of the retirement ceremony. Attention to orders. Citation to accompany the award of Meritorious Service Medal to Master Sergeant Gary A. Banner for meritorious service 1 October 2017 through 1 June 2021. Master Sergeant Gary A. Banner distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States while assigned to Joint Force Headquarters, Nebraska Air National Guard. During this period, the outstanding professional skill, leadership, and ceaseless efforts of Sergeant Banner resulted in major contributions to the effectiveness and success of Air Force operations. Sergeant Banner's successfully conduct of several Joint Force Headquarters personnel programs ensured a mission-ready force. He provided outstanding support managing the unit's training requirements for 45 enlisted and officer personnel, consistently keeping members in compliance with Air Force requirements and standards. As the unit training manager, he directed training activities including airman development, mission assignments, separations, retirements, and key career progression opportunities. His volunteer work for both the military department and the community have added to the success of the Nebraska Air National Guard. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Sergeant Banner culminate a distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself, the Air National Guard, and the United States Air Force. Given under my hand, Daryl L. Bohawk, Major General, United States Air Force, the Adjutant General. At ease.
Check that salute.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, we will present the Certificate of Retirement, and it reads as follows. Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see these presents greeting. This is to certify that Master Sergeant Gary A. Banner, having served faithfully and honorably, is retired from the United States Air Force on the first day of July, 2021. Signed, General Charles Q. Brown, Jr., Chief of Staff, United States Air Force, and Lieutenant General Michael A. Lowe, Director, Air National Guard. At this time, we would like to ask Sergeant Banner's wife, Manny, to please come forward. Manny, we are forever grateful for your commitment to the Air Force, your family, and your husband's profession during his career. With our deep appreciation, admiration, and respect, we present you this certificate as a remembrance of your years as a member of the Air Force family. Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Air Force. In grateful appreciation, the United States Air Force presents this certificate of recognition to Manuela Banner for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense. Thank you for the support which gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service. Signed, General Charles Q. Brown, Jr., Chief of Staff, United States Air Force, and Lieutenant General Michael A. Lowe, Director, Air National Guard. Lieutenant Frings will now present Sergeant Banner and Manny with the Admiralship Great Navy of the State of Nebraska certificates. It reads as follows. Admiral, the Great Navy of the State of Nebraska, to all who shall see these presents, greetings. Know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Manuela Banner and Sergeant Banner, and knowing you to be a good person and loyal friend and counselor, I have nominated and do appoint you an Admiral in the Great Navy of the State of Nebraska. You are therefore called to diligently discharge the duties of Admiral by doing and performing all manner of things thereto belonging. And I do strictly charge and require all officers, seamen, tadpoles, and goldfish under your command to be obedient to your orders as Admiral. And you are to observe and follow from time to time such directions as you shall receive according to the rules and discipline of the Great Navy of the State of Nebraska. This commission to continue in force during the period of your good behavior and the pleasure of the Chief Admiral of the Great Navy of the State of Nebraska. Given under my hand in the city of Lincoln, State of Nebraska, for Manuela Banner this 4th day of June 2021, in the year of our Lord, and for Gary Banner this 5th day of June 2021. Therefore, Manny, you now outrank Gary. Thank you, Manny. You may now be seated. At At this time, Lieutenant Frings will present Master Sergeant Banner with his ceremonial retirement flag. On behalf of Headquarters Nebraska Air National Guard, we wish to present to you what is known as the military member's most honored and cherished possession, the United States national flag, the flag which you have so proudly served and honorably defended. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the reading of the retirement orders. Attention to orders. Reserve Order EK 0326. Master Sergeant Gary Banner is relieved from current assignment assigned to the Retired Reserve Section and placed on the United States Air Force Reserve Retired List effective July 1st, 2021. At ease and please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my distinct honor to present to you retired Master Sergeant Gary A. Banner.
Thank you, Chief Coogan. Appreciate it. Now they're relaxed again. Except for the undergarments I'm wearing today, the same uniform that was issued to me 20 years ago, including the shoes, were issued to me. But remarkably, it still fits, albeit a little bit more snugly than it did 20 years ago. The uniform is the same, but I like to think that the person wearing it has changed a lot over the last 2 decades. The ribbons that I wear tell part of a story of the experience that have shaped those changes. I remember as a little boy, when I'd get up, I'd watch my dad shave and put his uniform on before heading out to the base. He was a jet mechanic then on C-141 Starlifters, and he would bring me with him sometimes and show me around. I was utterly amazed, and no little boy could have been prouder of his dad. Maybe that is what inspired me to join the Air National Guard. Thank you, Pop. Very honestly, my Air Force career has been marked by success in spite of myself. From the very beginning, I've had very good people ask the very best of me. Even my enlistment was supported by trusted friends and encouraged me as a 34-year-old to challenge myself to begin a new journey in life. A journey that I honestly wasn't sure I could succeed at when I was heading to Lackland Air Force Base for basic training in May of 2001. Never could I have possibly imagined that the journey would last 20 years, let alone the experiences I would have, the places I would go, and most importantly, the people that I would meet along the way of that journey. I returned from basic training in my technical school in August of 2001, and it had only one weekend drill when my new unit, the 155th Force Support Squadron, then military personnel flight, when I met the next big challenge in my Air Force career that was also entirely unforeseen, 9/11. But I'm not alone in that. I don't think there is any military member that has served since then that day hasn't changed their lives in some way. 9/11 transformed my life. I went from thinking I had served my enlistment, going 1 weekend a month and a couple of weeks a year, to the Air Guard would help pay for college, to service in the Air Guard becoming perhaps the defining feature of my professional life. Those of you that are or have served in the National Guard, this isn't anything that you don't already know. But I think it's important to inform others that might not be aware, and for us to remember that since 9/11, for almost every member in a reserve component, the days of 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year are long ago memory. Even if a traditional guardsman did just 20 years of the minimum required service, they would still have spent over 2 years of their lives, 365 days a year, in uniform. I personally am no exceptional case, but in my experience, in my 20 years in uniform, I've had almost 8 years of that served in an active duty status. In addition, I've been a federal technician for many years, wearing the same uniform that I did when I was on active duty. Then you can add the weekends, annual training, additional training, etc. on top of that. This guardsman spent much more of the last 20 years in uniform than out of uniform, and that is not unusual today. I truly wish our National Guard got more recognition and respect for that. During the early part of my career, I had the privilege of knowing some outstanding people that enabled me to grow as an airman and to be successful. Megan, Mandy, and I were all the same rank, but they were much younger than me. They were like younger sisters, and like brothers and sisters, we didn't always get along. But we always had each other's back 100% of the time. I am supremely proud to be able to share this day with now Senior Master Sergeant Brzozowski and Master Sergeant Denhart, who couldn't be here. Retired Master Sergeants Trish Peterson, Michelle Carlson, Randy Sellers, and Paul Dion shared their vast experience with me and demanded a lot from me in return. Then Lieutenant Colonel, now Major General Wendy Johnson, was an excellent commander that expected nothing less than excellence in all we do. When it came to taking care of our members, nothing less was acceptable. I faced more challenges, training courses, exercises to strange exotic locations, like Dugway Proving Ground in Utah, where if you're not careful, an antelope can be more deadly than the chemical weapons stored there. I had an assignment to the National Guard Crisis Action Team in Washington, D.C., Airman Leadership School, Non-Commissioned Officers Academy. Frequently, I would question if I had the ability to succeed. But every time I did, and when I did, there was someone there, friend, family member, airman, that encouraged me and pushed me to complete the mission. For over 2 years, I worked with the Nebraska National Guard County Drug Demand Reduction Team, traveling the state, educating youth and communities about the dangers of drug abuse. Getting to utilize my training as a teacher, maybe the best assignment I've ever had. Working in a joint environment with some of the best airmen and soldiers I've ever served with, and that I have the honor of continuing to remain friends with many of them to this day, like Colonel Dan Benish, Captain Matt Boring, and of course, Chief Jody Coomer. Whether it was conducting a ropes course at 4-H camp, or our own youth summer camp at Camp Ashland, or driving an 8-wheeled armored vehicle down the interstate, it was never a dull job. I had the amazing opportunity to deploy to Germany and employ my training and experience I had gained there. I moved to Kentucky and transferred to the 123rd Airlift Wing in Louisville. I wasn't there long, but long enough to deploy to Iraq in 2009. There were a lot of long, busy days in Baghdad, processing incoming and outgoing personnel, but once again, I was proud to be part of a team with people like Tech Sergeant Mayo Pasquale of the 129th Rescue Squadron of the California Air National Guard, and my fellow Kentuckian Sharon Foster that worked together to complete our mission. We formed a lifelong bond that we still maintain. I not only returned from Iraq, but I returned to my native Southern California and joined the 163rd, then Reconnaissance Wing at March Reserve Air Base, not far from where my father's last assignment was at now the defunct Norton Air Force Base. At the 163rd, I was on home station deployment orders, keeping personnel accountability for our warfighters as we flew Predator missions over theater, controlled from our home base. I continued to develop personally as an NCO and was challenged by my then commander, Major Hal Byers, to again step out of my comfort zone and become the Force Support Squadron Additional First Duty Sergeant, which, as Sergeant Kruger knows, gets all the responsibility of the duty and none of the perks. People around me, like my still friends, Master Sergeants Noreen Gittens, Aaron Wells, and Chief Tyler Hesheimer, gave me the encouragement and support for me to succeed in that assignment. In my last year there, I deployed twice into the field in support of California National Guard efforts in fighting enormous wildfires. But I always miss Nebraska. This is where my true home is. A little over 3 years ago, with the inspiration by and support of my now beautiful wife, Manny, Sergeant Kruger, with her support, I was able to come full circle and return to the Nebraska Air National Guard, where I end my career as the Unit Training Manager for Joint Force Headquarters Air National Guard personnel, where once again, I've had the tremendous honor to serve with the best in the nation. Because of you and many others, I end my military career having met all of my goals, fulfilled all my dreams, and done so much more than I could have even conceived possible when I first took the oath of enlistment. Thank you, and God bless America.